Okay, it would seem that we are live on the streets of London on the hottest day of the year. And of course it is only mad dogs and Englishmen that go out in the midday sun. Therefore I must be a mad dog. That is roasting. Apparently it's 38 in the shade, whatever that means. I don't know why they measure it in the shade. Surely in a hot day you'd want to measure it in the sun. But anyway, it's boiling hot, and I don't know what it is in we need to get one over. I don't know what it is in Fahrenheit, in old money. There's Colin there. Like the vest, Jules, I thought you would, Colin. I plucked it out especially for you. And there he is, the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali. Of all time, Muhammad Ali. The greatest. How you doing, Colin? Hope you're enjoying the sun. Know you cover up. Always be safe. Always be safe. Always use protection, especially in the sun. And wear sunscreen as well. It's a little joke there for you. So, we're in the West End of London. Where are we? Kensington. Somewhere between Kensington and Knightsbridge. The gym is done. I normally gym late in the evening, but I've got a bit of free time, so I'm kind of trying to use my time more effectively. But I don't think training in the heat of the midday, was a very good idea. I think I'm very dehydrated. Oh, Colin, no way. Colin has just given me my first super chat. I'll never forget my first time, Colin. Thank you very much. I turned on the super chat button the other day when I managed to work out how, and £5 has come in from Colin Alloy, the one and only. I still got to get the interview with you, Colin. That's superb. 33X is saying, get yourself indoors, matey. No, I can't. I'm a Brit, in a way. I have to put the sandals on, get the vest out the minute there's any type of sun. We are a nation of extremists. I think we have so much extreme views because the weather is so temperate. Britain's temperate climate has allowed it to thrive. It's not too hot in winter, in summer. It's not too cold in winter. The Gulf Stream means that Britain is a lot hotter than it should be, if you think about it. If you look at what Britain is level with other countries like Ukraine, Poland, in terms of longitude, is it longitude? It should be a lot colder, but the Gulf Stream has given it a temperate climate, good for farming, and I think that's why Britain in many ways, and the fact that it's coastal, has made Britain into a success, and why it conquered so much of the world. Well, if you call that a success, it's a success in one way, at the expense of others. But civilizations have always excelled where there's a source of water and where the climate is not too extreme. I'm sure the reason why Africa is in poverty is the mixture of extreme climate and lack of water. And water is important on a day like today. Remember to rehydrate yourself, but not just water. If you're sweating and losing a lot of salt through the pores in order to cool yourself down, and you replace it with only water, that's not good enough. That's not going to do the job. You need to have a little bit of sugar in there, a little bit of salt. My old boxing trainer used to say, put a little bit of honey in the water on a hot day like this, and then you will replenish what you're losing through heat. But yeah, it is roasting. So I should really go and get myself a cold drink. Although apparently in India and other places they have tea on a hot day, which I find hard to believe. And that could cool you down, but maybe you sort of feel cool compared to the drink. I don't know. Anyway, apparently the heat wave has hit the Netherlands very hard. They're in roasting temperatures at the moment. I've become a bit of a weatherman. I turned on to talk about the storm the other night. That was a great talking point. And now here I am talking about the sun. My goodness. What am I going to talk about next? Hopefully not floods. Well, that's the great British conversation starter or conversation killer is talking about the weather. In fact, talking of floods, there's a bit of synchronicity. I think we might be about to stumble across Noah, if he's there. Yeah, I think this is Noah. Say, if you can see in the background there, Save the Pacific Islands. This is a chap called Noah who's a real environmentalist, and he's got a stall up here in Knightsbridge, and he's trying to save the world. Noah, how you doing, sir? Good to see you. Hope you don't mind. I've got my camera out. You don't mind cameras here, do you? I'm just telling the people what you're about. I'll put your hat on. You need a hat on, like on a day like today. Well, cover up from the heat. Okay. All right. He likes a hat on a camera. Yep. And there is the dog. I was saying earlier, it's only mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun. Yes. So which one are you?
Well, I'm actually neither.
You're from the Pacific, are you? From Australia?
Hawaii.
Okay. I knew it was down there somewhere. Yeah. And he's not a mad dog, no?
I hope not.
Well, it's a lovely. What breed is that?
She's a half beagle and half stag.
Oh, mix. Oh man. Yeah. No, it's a lovely dog. Lovely dog. Yeah. But how's things down here? Are you causing a stir?
Yeah, I am now.
Well, yeah. Yeah, we've got all of 3 people watching us. No, I don't want. Listen, Noah, can I bring you a cold drink? I'm going to wander up and down. Can I bring you a cold drink?
If you want.
Yeah, what would you like?
Tropical fruit juice.
Some kind of tropical fruit juice, yeah?
From Tahiti.
From Tahiti. I'll do my best. Tropical fruit juice. All right. Let me go on a mission.
You'll find most good places in the supermarket.
Yeah.
Will have tropical fruit juice.
Yeah.
But it's better when it says juice, not drink.
Not from concentrate. Yeah. Let me go on a little mission, and then.
Pineapple, it'll be
When I come back, would it be all right to sit if I sit with you and we do a little chat?
Yeah.
When I'll mic you up, yeah? Lovely. All right, let me go on the mission, and I'll be back in a minute. Nice one, Noah. Okay. There's a little something to look forward to. I'm going to try and get Noah some kind of tropical drink, and if the live stream holds out, I'll try and get a chat with him. I've had a word with him before, never on camera. He's a lovely guy. He's from Hawaii. I knew he was from somewhere far away, but he's from Hawaii. And he's set up this stall to raise awareness of the way that climate change is affecting the South Pacific. And obviously if climate change is real, which we're told it is, I'm sure climate change is real. It's the debate is to what extent is mankind having an effect on it, but it's happening either way, and these small islands will be the first to bear the brunt of that, because, well, when you're that small, a few meters of rise in sea level is going to make a hell of a lot of difference and could leave you submerged. I hope Britain doesn't go under. I don't think we're in any danger. That's why we don't care as much. Oh yeah, we'll get a cold drink and we'll have a chat with Noah. I should really round up some of the conversations I had in the park this week. It was a strange Sunday in Speaker's Corner last Sunday. I did less speaking than usual and got involved in a little bit of boxing training, which I love. Someone shared a video the other day making the point about martial arts trainers, and it applies to boxing as well. Like the best boxing trainers, best martial arts trainers won't be people that set out to be trainers. That's not how it works. The best trainer will be someone who was a good boxer, who had his sights on being a world champion boxer and didn't quite make it because he wasn't quite good enough or because injury held him back. But that was his original goal, and plan B would have been the training. That's what they say about those that can teach, or those that can do, those that can't teach. Well, that's the one. So yeah, the likes of Angelo Dundee and Emmanuel Stewart. If you look into these great boxing trainers, I'm sure they had a career, they had a past. Even some referees, I think Joe Cortez had some kind of amateur career as a boxer. You'd hope that people would know what they were doing if they're officiating a boxing match or training somewhere. Right, we're about to enter a popular supermarket. Probably shouldn't be filming in there, so I'm going to subtly disguise the fact that we're filming, that we're rolling. Don't mind me. Try and make this as quick as I can, swift as I can. Some kind of tropical juice. Hopefully cold. Alright, bear with me, I'm just trying to find the juice. Alright, here we go, citrus. This might be as close as we're going to get. Not ideal, but it's better than nothing. Alright, over we go to the card only pay bit. They say you should never use these. Yeah, whenever you can, you should use an employee. Oh, I don't have a way for a card. Oh yeah, debit.
Please use contactless or
there we go.
card.
Contactless. Oh no, got to be done. Play by the system's rules. Yeah, one day we won't even have to get a card out. We'll have a chip inside us, and that's how we'll pay for things. It's coming, people. The mark of the beast. Anyway, coming up, we've got our chat with Noah. And I will have to put it on him. I will have to make the case, the skeptic's case for climate change. And a lot of people, when they watch my videos, they seem to not understand the difference between asking a question as a reporter, or a journalist, and saying what you really think. For example, when I spoke to Paul Williams at the weekend, and we were talking about the rights and wrongs and the moral issues within Islam, and I said, what's wrong with incest, and he refused to answer the question. He says, if you don't know that, you've got a serious problem. And then someone in the comments said, oh, why would you ask such a question as, oh, what's wrong with incest? Do people not understand the difference between asking a question in the context of an interview and saying what you really think? I'm not for 1 minute saying I think incest is okay. But what can I say? There's a lot of thick people out there. And that's why we must do our best to delicately educate the mad, educate ourselves, and bring us all forward as we go. But yeah, the comment section, it's a funny one. Sometimes I think I should either respond to everything or just not respond at all. Just make it a general rule that I don't respond. But I do like the fact that people can have their say. And if I've not asked a question that you think should have been asked, then the comment section is your chance to do it. Camille Kellner's just tuned in, my guy. Welcome, Camille. Glad to have you watching. I hope you're somewhere safe out of the heat. The heat is searing now. So yeah, that conversation was one that I'll come back to. Camille Kellner saying, I'm going to a model shoot. Is that you as a model yourself, or are you shooting a model? I wonder what type of model. You know what? I think Noah is going to be disappointed with his Oasis citrus punch. I'll be honest, I don't think that's what he was hoping for. Camille is on his way to a test photo shoot for a New York fashion show. I will be the model. Superb. I hope you're ready for your close-up. Yeah, I think he's going to be disappointed, but what can I say? It's better than nothing. So, other conversations that were had this week. I caught up with one of my friends, one of the Hebrew Israelites. Didn't get him on camera, but I am looking forward to another exchange with him, as I've got some. I've done a little bit of research about who are the Hebrew Israelites, who are not the Hebrew Israelites. I was criticised the other night for scoffing at the idea that the Native Americans might be the Hebrew Israelites, but they might be. Who knows? Who knows the truth? But we're about to find out the truth from the man himself who built the ark, Noah. What part of London am I in, Colin? I'll give you a clue. Harrods is just up there, and it's got a bridge in the name. How are we doing? Noah, I don't know if this is any good. It's citrus fruit, but it was the best I could do. Well, let's sit down. Hello, boy. The dog's showing me love. Grab that orange one out, man. Go on, thank you, fella. Well done. All right. Just give me a moment. Oh, look at that. The rain is about to pour down, but I love it. Oh.
Forecast doesn't say rain, it's not allowed.
They say the forecast usually gives you a pessimistic prediction, because more people complain when it rains than they said it wouldn't. I don't think anyone's going to complain today if we get rain.
Oh, see, here's the forecast. That's right to this moment, 3 o'clock.
Yeah, sun.
It's not going to rain.
I'm welcoming the rain.
Yeah, but it's not going to. It's not
allowed.
Well, it's not going to happen. I trust my sources.
You trust? Can I clip that onto you?
You can do whatever you
There
like.
we go. A man with no fear. Right, we're mic'd up, but no rush.
No, carry on.
Let's take a minute.
Hey, is this chicken noodle news or
This is fake news.
no, fake news?
Right,
Donald Trump's
Trump, fake news. Did he invent the phrase, or have we been having fake news all our lives?
Well, I think he popularised it.
Yeah, that's a good word actually.
He
Popularised.
brought it into the public domain.
Being as he is a populist, whatever that means.
Well, he's a very popular man.
Yeah. Is he popular in your book? Do you like Donald Trump?
Well, he sells newspapers, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You know, he gets viewers to the television.
He gives us something to talk about.
Well, we don't have to.
No.
In fact, it might be better if we didn't. But I still don't know. I not only don't know who you are, I don't know who I am. So I suppose that makes us equal.
You said, yeah. Well, very well said. I'm making plans to do away with labels altogether.
Right.
Although my name is Julian, and I'm happy to tell you that.
So you're Julian Assange. You cut your hair.
Yeah, I used to be over there, and I was with Kieran when he was outside. Do you know Kieran O'Reilly?
Well, I don't want to admit to it.
Okay, no problem. Deny him 3 times.
Yeah, plausible deniability.
Yes.
Talk to my lawyers. A lot of the questions that you might ask me, I might simply say, talk to my lawyers.
Absolutely no problem.
Which is a very polite way of saying.
No further comment. Sometimes silence speaks volumes.
Silence is golden, as it were. But yeah, I was just trying to get to the point of what are we actually doing at this moment. I mean, we're talking to some sort of screen here.
Yeah. Well, I should probably explain everything.
It would help.
Okay. So, I have a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Familiar with YouTube?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, you've heard good, bad things probably. Usually, I'll take the camera up to Speaker's Corner on a Sunday and chat to people and record the conversations and upload them. I was chatting to the likes of Kieran O'Reilly. I've been down to Belmarsh quite a few times where he is now, talking to people who have something to say. But occasionally I will just turn the camera on and go live and wander about, or I'll be at home or wherever it is, and it becomes very much just almost a stream of consciousness, and I will just speak my verbal diarrhea until I meet someone interesting and see if they want to get involved. So this will, as much as it is live now, it will then stay on YouTube afterwards, and people can watch it back later on. They could leave comments, ask questions.
Do you think there are people who will want to watch this?
I think so. I think that the type of people that have found their way to this channel obviously have an interest in people, because that's what the channel is about. Talking to different people, and I was thinking as I came up here actually how much I can say, or I can allow the channel to say, just by shutting up and letting other people talk, although I'm not really doing that much at the moment. Same charger, is that?
Which one?
The silver one, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good one. Yeah.
I think that's probably the best one I've got, to be honest. That holds a lot of power.
You must survive off things like that.
Hello. Are you back from New Zealand?
Yeah.
What was it like?
All right.
Is it winter over there?
Yeah. I went to Australia too, and that was quite warm, but now we're going away for a week with the church.
Well, I hope the church doesn't come back, to be honest.
You hope what?
I hope the church doesn't come back.
Doesn't come back? Why not?
I don't like churches. I don't like competition.
I know, but our one's pretty cool.
Well, they're all the same, aren't they?
Eh?
I'm not in favour of religion.
Oh.
My church is anti-religion.
Interesting.
We'd rather see my.
Are you in favour of spirituality?
I'm not in favour of anything.
Okay.
All right, nice to see you. See you in a week.
I look forward to it.
Yeah?
What led you to be against religion?
Well, I started the Church of All Worlds with the purpose of opposing religion, opposing the domination of people, the control of people's minds, the control of people's lives.
Say the Church for all the world.
This is the Church of All Worlds.
The Church of all worlds.
All worlds.
Plural.
All worlds.
Okay. How many worlds are there?
I've got no idea. There's probably an awful lot.
Okay.
But
When you say other worlds, do you mean other physical planets or other realms, other levels?
no, it is just called. It is called the Church of All Worlds, and it is intended to cover everybody.
Okay.
And one of the principles is to oppose organised ritual religion. I mean,
But in doing so, have you not created yet another one?
no, because we're trying to. It's like I said to this lady now. I hope your church, when it leaves, doesn't come back.
Okay.
So,
Which church was she a part of? Do you know?
well, there's churches around us here. you
Not
see.
Church of England or Methodist or
Well, I
one of
mean,
the organised churches?
there are churches very close by that are the organised churches, which I am opposed to. But, I mean, I'm normally very polite to all these people. They come by and they talk, they come and chat to me and so on.
Yeah.
But when she said that the church is leaving, it just seemed appropriate to say, well, I hope it doesn't come back. It's like, thank you and goodbye. That's just my own attitude. I really, and here, if you notice, you'll see, look.
A man of the cloth.
Yeah, that's right.
Just,
but I'm not here to have a war with
Sure.
other churches.
But aren't most religious people kind, loving, and all the good morals that the Bible or other holy books teach us? I know in the upper echelons, when power corrupts, you've got a problem. But aren't most Christian people doing good deeds?
I've no idea. I mean, to be honest, I really don't care. It's not my business. But
Please ask
sometimes I get people come up to me here, and they say things like, "You are a sinner. You are going to hell," and I say, "Would you please go away and leave me alone?" And they keep on and on and on and on, threatening me. And sometimes I actually tell them, if you don't go away, I'll call the police, and I explain to them, if you want to start a war, your church wants to start a war with my church, you want to go back to the Middle Ages when that sort of thing was common, okay, go ahead, but the best thing you can do is go away, leave me alone. So when you say to Christians or all these lovely people, no, I'm here on the street 24 hours a day. I've been here for nearly 6 months now. I've been doing this for years. When I choose to, I come out on the street and I come out to disrupt the capitalist system. My intention here is to completely fuck up this whole system. And anybody comes and tries to fuck me about, they get as good as they give, I don't particularly appreciate it. I don't enjoy it. It does make me quite paranoid sometimes. But it doesn't matter who they are, politicians or police or council or security guards or any of these kind of people. I get thieves and beggars and alcoholics and junkies. I get all kinds of, I'm 24 hours a day on the street doing what I decide is the right thing to do. And I have to put up with a lot of shit from people.
I hope you stay safe out here. Do you think the religious people see your new church as a threat to theirs?
It's not a new church.
But do you think they perceive it that way? Because you're calling it the Church of All Worlds.
Well, it's been around for a long time. It's been around for a lot longer than a lot of these people have been around. It's not as if I've suddenly popped up doing something new.
Okay.
It's not new. It's
on
been
that
around
subject,
for a long time.
someone just asked me, when did you start this lifestyle choice? When did you begin living like this?
Protesting.
When did he commence this lifestyle choice? So I guess, how long have you been in the...
I've been protesting all my life. I'm a birthright Quaker, the Quaker.
So you're from a Quaker family?
That's right.
Okay. They're also known as the Society of Friends?
That's right.
Okay.
We have certain principles that we live by.
Does that include pacifism?
Well, part of the Quaker idea, if you like, is that people have the right to live how they choose, believe what they choose to believe, not be dominated and controlled by other people.
Okay.
So when you say pacifism, yes, in general that's part of the Quaker thing, but it doesn't mean that we all are pacifists.
Sure.
If somebody attacks me physically, I will try to avoid it, but I'm perfectly happy to defend myself. I'm not going to let people kill me or kill other people. I've been involved in something like this recently.
Yeah.
There's some fake protesters around, astroturfers, people claiming to be protesters, environmental activists, and they're not. Some of them are undercover police.
Oh really?
Yeah, some of them work for the oil companies. Some of them
Infiltrators, yeah?
They infiltrate and they hijack and they take over, and they're very professional and they're very, very clever. They're clearly well educated. Most of them are like middle class. They tend to be of a certain age group, a certain education,
So
certain background.
Spot one coming, can you?
Well, not necessarily, but you can see by their actions and their behaviour over a period of time that they are not genuine activists. They are, as I say, infiltrating, hijacking protest sites, hijacking campaigns, and try to take them over, try to control genuine grassroots activists.
Controlled opposition.
That's what it's called. They say it is managed dissent, controlled opposition.
Wow.
And nobody knows whether the undercover police and the oil companies, the corporate agents, are actually working together, or whether the undercover police are simply there to control a protest so that it is under the control of the police and the government and possibly the CIA and MI5 and God knows who else. But you see, you also have the corporations spying on activists. And oil companies have a network of cover names, secret groups, think tanks, you name it. They spend billions paying scientists, paying journalists, trying to make sure that false messages come out. They make it seem as if there's a debate about global warming.
Well, how do you spot these people?
Well, it's the old saying, if they look like cops and they act like cops and they talk like cops, then they probably are cops, you know.
If someone showed up with a camera and a microphone. I'm not, by the way. I hope you trust me. I mean, a lot of people suspect me of being some kind of operative. I can only, with an open heart, tell you I'm not. And I hope you trust me.
I wasn't talking about
No,
you.
I know. I'm just.
I to be honest, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's not about spotting individuals. It's not about going, oh, there's one over there. That's not what it's about.
Okay.
It's about being aware that some protest groups are actually controlled by false or fake protesters. The people actually organising and running and controlling a protest group may in fact not be genuine activists at all. They may be so like I say, it's not about individuals and individual action. It's about the whole thing.
Would you ever come to Speaker's Corner and talk about this?
Sorry?
Would you ever come to Speaker's Corner? People were saying, why don't you come to Speaker's Corner and make these points?
Why would I want to do that?
Well, it's a platform where you'll get a lot of people who will hear you, but perhaps you're reaching more people by being here.
Well, this isn't why I'm here. You know, you haven't asked me why I'm here. I'm just talking. I'm just answering your questions.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
That wasn't what I was.
Sorry, no, that question came from someone in the chat.
Okay, someone asked a question and I answered it.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
It's not that I wish to spend my time talking about this, but the fact is, it is something that concerns a lot of people. You get these, I call them fake protesters. They're also known as astroturfers.
Okay. That's not a term I'd heard before, but I can recognise it. Astroturfer.
Well,
fake protester, right?
AstroTurf is
fake grass.
Fake grass.
Okay.
So grassroots activists, you see, are genuine.
Right.
And astroturfers are not genuine.
We'll learn a new word today. Astroturfer.
Astroturfing is false, fake protesting, and it does happen. And sometimes it doesn't get noticed for quite some time.
Yeah.
So you get a protest group, for instance, that will claim that they're opposed to global warming, they're opposed to the extinction of life on Earth, they're opposed to the governments, but for some strange reason they might not say they're opposed to the oil companies. They might just talk about all the things they're opposed to, and then they'll come out with what they believe are their solutions, which they might say, for instance, we need to plant lots of trees to soak up the carbon dioxide. And we need to have net zero emissions. And that means capturing the carbon emissions and storing them underground. Now, if you don't know what that means, which a lot of the public probably doesn't, they would probably think, well, that's all right. They've got the solutions. They've got the answers. Fight the government, oppose the government, don't oppose the oil companies, but oppose the government because the politicians obviously are ones in charge, and plant lots of trees, and capture the carbon dioxide and stick it in a hole under the ground.
Wouldn't planting trees be the answer?
No. Planting trees, they will not grow in time to soak up any carbon dioxide. By the time they're grown in 20, 30, 40 years' time, we will probably all be dead. And the Amazon rainforest will probably have disappeared completely by that time. So planting trees, there's probably thousands of things that need to be done. But if you're going to say that planting trees is the answer, then you are effectively you are going to be helping to kill the human race, kill all life on this planet if you put out false solutions.
But in order to be efficient, we'd have to find the easiest one and the one that we can do the quickest.
There's not just one.
No, not just one. I guess we have to do them all. But for example, if the beef industry is much more culpable in terms of contributing carbon emissions than the oil industry, shouldn't we be hitting the beef industry first? And all these conditions and low emission zones are all attacking car driven pollution, and they're not touching the beef industry.
Well, I don't know what to say to that. You sound as if you don't know what you're talking about, to be honest. I hear a lot of people talking like that, and that's one of the things that I
must have heard it from them.
That was the point that I was making. Is a lot of false information, a hell of a lot of false information. People who are not scientists, people who haven't got a clue what they're talking about, coming out and making it sound as if they do know what they're talking about. I think that's very, very dangerous, because if anybody believes what you just said or what these astroturfers are saying, if anybody believes
you think it's astroturfers that are saying things like the beef industry produces more carbon than the oil industry? You think that's what they're saying?
You're going into details, and I prefer not to go into details because you can get lost in the details.
Okay.
You can say, oh, but this causes more pollution than that, and you're not looking at the bigger picture. The point you're taking me off the subject. The point that I was making was that if you pretend to be an activist and you pretend that you are protesting against global warming and the extinction of life on Earth, and it is in fact just a pretense, then what you do, because you are working for the oil companies or the corporations, then you are being employed to put out a false message, to create a debate, to make people believe that this is not the oil companies, the fossil fuel industries, this is the beef industry, or is...
well, I think the consensus is that it's the oil industry.
Well,
the majority of people are convinced on that. We're told the majority of scientists are convinced. So
I'm still trying to stick to the point that the astroturfers deliberately twisting the agenda and the purpose of genuine environmental activism, twisting it from being revolutionary to being a reformist agenda. They want to reform things. They promote things like net zero emissions, which means they're promoting tree planting and carbon capture and storage as the solutions rather than stopping the burning of fossil fuels. And that's the point that I'm getting at. I don't want to discuss at this moment the beef and other sources of carbon dioxide, because the fact is we have to stop.
So
all
lowering
the
emissions is not enough. We have to stop.
We have to stop completely. If you don't,
find another way.
You have to stop completely. If you don't stop completely, we will all be dead very soon. And the astroturfers, and I can't emphasize this strongly enough, they are infiltrating, hijacking, and trying to take over the whole of the environmental movement. And at the moment, they appear to be getting very, very successful at this. A lot of people actually believe what they are saying, and that's very, very, very dangerous, because no action is being taken. It is impossible to capture carbon and stick it in a hole under the ground. Carbon capture and storage is complete nonsense promoted by the oil companies.
Okay. Do you think Extinction Rebellion was infiltrated with these astroturfers?
No, not at all.
Extinction Rebellion was a true grassroots movement?
No. Extinction Rebellion was started by the astroturfers. It wasn't infiltrated.
Oh, right,
It was started by them.
Okay, so it is a fake protest?
Yes, it always has been.
Okay.
It always has been. It's changed its name a number of times. The same people jumped on every bandwagon for a number of years. Every protest that was going, they decided to copy. They copied every protest that was happening for a number of years. Their whole purpose, right from the beginning, was to take over and control the environmental protest movement.
And you think this stems from big oil companies?
That's my opinion. I don't have any evidence of that. I have a lot of evidence of undercover agents of unspecified type, but I've known these people personally for years, and I mean that, personally for years. I've seen what they've done. I've experienced it. I've been a victim of it. I've seen them infiltrating protest sites and groups and eco-villages and attempting to take over and control other people, and they're doing it with neuro-linguistic programming, with secret meetings. It's a cult. It's very like the Soviet Union.
Wow.
It's controlled. People have to agree to everything they tell them to agree to. It's a most extraordinary thing.
What is neuro-linguistic programming?
It's a method of controlling people's beliefs and behaviour and what they say and what they agree to. It's a very, very, very clever, very professional way of controlling groups and organisations, using facilitators, making people believe that a public meeting of a public group is making decisions by consensus, that it is a form of participatory democracy, which started with the Quakers hundreds of years ago. This whole idea of everyone being equal and having decisions made by the community and coming to consensus on decisions. And the Zapatistas in Mexico, in the Chiapas region in the mountainous region of Mexico, the Zapatistas have used participatory democracy for a long time, and it was used by the Camp for Climate Action, which was taken over and controlled by undercover police.
Okay.
Mark Kennedy being the most prominent that we know about. He said himself after 7 years, when he was finally exposed, he said he admitted that he worked with 17 other undercover police officers, but we found out eventually there wasn't just 17 of them running the Camp for Climate Action, there was hundreds of them. And it wasn't just the climate camp, they were organising the Wombles and the clandestine insurgent Clown Army.
Who are the Wombles?
Well, the Wombles was an anarchist group.
Someone did ask, are you an anarchist? You can answer that if you wish to or not.
I don't use that. Anarchy is a political philosophy.
Yeah.
And I don't subscribe personally to political philosophies. I don't agree with capitalism or socialism or communism. I don't agree with any political philosophy, and that includes anarchism, because all these political philosophies are out of date. They don't relate to the present situation of the human race. We are faced with an environmental catastrophe. There's no point talking about banks and, behaviour and the economy. When we are completely flooded, when the island nations have disappeared and coastal cities have gone and whole countries underwater, when half the human race is drowned and the rest of us are threatened with the methane exploding in the Arctic, you can forget your banks and your governments and your economy.
Human rights won't matter if there's no humans left.
That's pretty much the point I'm making, is if you spend your time thinking about anarchy or communism or socialism or whatever, you're kind of missing the point. We are in the middle of the sixth mass extinction in history. It's not happening in 10 years or 20 years.
Sixth mass
the sixth mass extinction.
Are the others the Ice Age and
the dinosaurs? The Permian was the last one. 95% of life on Earth was wiped out in the Permian.
Now, when was that?
That was millions of years ago.
Permian, Permian.
Yeah, we're facing that now. All life on Earth could be extinct within the next 10 years.
If it's happened 5 times before, maybe it's just a natural cycle.
No, what's happening now?
When the dinosaurs died, that wasn't our fault.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, that's not actually what we're talking about. 99% of scientists agree by consensus that human activities are causing the rising temperatures and the extinction of life on Earth. It was until recently 97%. It's now gone up to 99%. Now that's as close as you can get to the truth about what is happening. We burn fossil fuels, the temperatures rise, the ice caps melt.
And the answer is simple: stop.
It's a lot more complicated than that. We need to stop burning fossil fuels, and we need to repair the damage to the entire planet. It is so badly damaged it needs to be terraformed. We need to make the planet habitable again for human life. It is becoming uninhabitable. Somebody died last night in Dubai drinking some alcohol, not realizing that the heat was so extreme that the alcohol would tip the balance and kill them. This is one person. We're in a heat wave. This is the hottest day of the year ever in Britain. The hottest July in history.
And it's raining.
It's not raining. I'm sorry. I think you should stick to the truth. I told you earlier that forecast says it's not raining.
Forecast says no. It's
exactly.
a no.
I know it sounds like I'm joking, but the fact is, tell your viewers it is not raining. There's a little bit, a little bit of grey cloud.
A little bit of
grey cloud and an occasional spot. It's not raining.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you this, it won't rain because my forecast is 100% accurate. It says it's not going to rain today. And my forecast is for this, where we are now. It's not for the Britain or London. It's for where we are right now.
Microclimate.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. I mean, until I got this on the internet, I never knew when it was going to rain, when it wasn't. But now I know, and they're 100% accurate. If they say it's not going to rain, it's not. Even if there's a little bit of cloud up there with a few spots of...
No means no. Are you familiar with Piers Corbyn?
Well, I choose not to talk about...
No comment.
No, I don't say no comment. I'm simply saying I choose not to talk about global warming deniers.
Okay.
Because it's a pointless argument trying to create a debate, trying to persuade other people that they are right. What we do know is that most global warming deniers are being paid by Koch brothers, think tanks, ExxonMobil, Shell, God knows who else, but there's people paying money, and billions. They pay money to right-wing groups to attack protesters, to further their own agenda. And getting involved in a debate about this is pointless.
But
absolutely pointless.
Those right-wingers that debate climate change, they must really believe it. Because
it doesn't matter what they believe.
If climate change is true, it will affect everybody.
It doesn't matter what they believe. It's not about a debate about who's right or who's wrong.
Okay.
So that's not what it's about. So I'm saying is that if we keep arguing, it's a trap. It's a trap that's being set deliberately to cause us to debate, to create doubt, cause people to argue and argue and argue and argue, so nothing gets done. And that's the danger. Nothing is being done. And right now you've got a lot of people saying, oh, climate emergency, oh, we've got some answers, we'll do the carbon capture, we'll plant some trees.
There's a lot of panicking going on.
Yeah, a lot of people are panicking, the children are panicking, but the point I'm making is it's just declaring, just talking about it, just declaring an emergency is possibly more dangerous, because it's still, what we're getting now is very clever people, politicians and business people and oil companies. They're trying to make it seem as if something is being done. Action is happening. There is nothing happening. There has never been anything happening. We've had 30 years of climate conferences, and all that happens is people talk about
What about low emission zone, tax on diesel cars, going electric by 2030 or whatever it is? Is this not action?
No, it's not action.
What could be done that's not being done?
Well, I think I said it already, that we are burning fossil fuels and pumping huge amounts of carbon into the atmosphere. Methane is a greenhouse gas. There's 30 different kinds of greenhouse gases. We are destroying the planet. We're making it uninhabitable. When I'm talking about action, you look around you here. I'm here to attempt to disrupt, literally to disrupt the capitalist system. We're surrounded by ambulances, fire engines, police, you name it, constant noise, constant pollution. This is poisonous, and nobody lives here. This area is a money laundering tax haven. The buildings are all empty. It's criminal money from other countries that is being pumped into London. The whole of London is a tax haven. And this is where the biggest money laundering in the world is going on. This government doesn't give a shit about anybody or anything apart from money. That's why you've got Brexit, because they want to continue having a tax haven in this country. They want all this criminal money. It's all about money. They just... It looks as if there's a community here. It looks as if there's people here. There's thousands of tourists. There's tourist attractions like the Oratory, like the Victoria and Albert Museum, like the Natural History Museum. You've got restaurants. You've got Harrods. You've got Buckingham Palace down the road. You've got Hyde Park. But there's no community here. These people that are coming here are wealthy tourists, or they're business people, or, like I said, criminals with all their money. And this is what London has turned into, with the politicians, with this government assisting, complicit in in a massive criminal enterprise, and the bottom line is they're killing everybody. Not only are people getting asthma and people are dying in tower blocks where there's no fire regulations and hundreds of people can get burnt to death. This council here, and I told them this when they came and saw me, oh, you can't do this here, not in our neighbourhood, you're not allowed, you're not allowed, you're not allowed. And I said, I'm going to put you in prison. I'm going to put the whole damn lot of you in prison. You're criminals. And you know what? I put a sign up there saying, fighting council and government corruption, criminal politicians. They never came back. Okay. And the police never came back either.
You scared them off?
Well, I don't know exactly, but the fact is I told them what I think of them and they didn't come back. And I'm serious about this. These people are murderers. The politicians, they are killing everybody. They don't care if you live or die. They will make sure you've got no benefits, so you've got no social security, no health service. They don't care if you have to live in the street and you die in the street. They don't give a shit. And it's got even worse now. It's got even worse than it was before. These people are killers. We have to close them down. We need a revolution. And I'm not talking about violence. I'm simply talking about a strike against these people, refuse to obey them, refuse to do the work that they want everyone to do. It wouldn't take more than a week to close down this government and close down this council and throw them out. And I would say have them arrested, put on trial for their crimes and go through the correct legal process. Make sure they get what they deserve for what they've done. And the fact is, if we don't do this, they'll kill us all.
Noah,
what?
I really appreciate your passion. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Nice.
We didn't even get started.
We didn't get started. No, we'll come back to it. Okay, we'll come back to it another time. There's a lot there. You've been watching Lessons for Life. This is Noah. He's down in Knightsbridge. And he's got a lot more to say for another time. We were here, we're gone.
Thank God for that.